I want your mind to hear you limitless. I want your soul to hear you limitless. I want everything inside of you to recognize.
Right, so you left, you were playing in Australia. How did Australia, how did you go?
Yeah, it was really good, man. Played second grade, really tough cricket. And our overseas professional at the time was Justin Marshall.
So just let me clarify.
Right.
You are professional at this point or not?
Yeah, I'm getting paid by the club, but I'm there on basically developmental.
Okay.
On a developmental basis. You know, overseas, but you're only allowed one overseas professional at the time, and that was a test player.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I'm there in all the practices, whatever. I played the under-21 competition as well. National Australia, Port of Grey, I think it was called. I was in a place called Eastern Suburbs, which was, I mean, Australia was eye-opening, man. The beaches, God, you know, a lot of the time you think maybe just, you know, you're from the Caribbean and you know about beaches and whatever, but some of the beaches I saw in Australia was stunning. If you think about the Bondi, Coogee, Wollongong, Manly, Mosman, beautiful places.
These names are all Aborigine names.
Wollongong and places like that are, yeah, but like a Mosman and a Manly, you know, just beautiful, beautiful white sandy beaches. But the only thing is, man, great white sharks. You know,
right. I mean,
right.
When you say beach in Australia, I mean, that sounds like you have any near-death experiences at the beaches there.
Not near death. I mean, I come across the deadly blue bottle jellyfish. I mean, there were times when, obviously, because what they have in Australia is shark nets, and they're censored. They give off sensors to whales and dolphins and stuff, so they don't come close. But the sharks can, you know, will touch it and trigger an alarm. And there were a few times where the sharks, you know, touch the nets, trigger the alarm, and it goes off on the whole beach, and you have to just exit for water. But no real. I did swim at a place called Shark Bay every day. Not by choice. You know, I was staying with some people, and this is where they manage. You know, you go for a jog and then end up with a swim at this place called Shark Bay every day. But you know, I was also very wary, staying pretty close to the shore. I wasn't one of those to really go swimming out.
So you doing surfing and stuff?
I did a bit of body surfing, not actually the stand-up surfing, but did a bit of paddleboard like surfing and body surfing. I learned to body surf in Australia. Actually, the waves were massive, and you could catch them at the right time, and they would just take you in, and they'd also drop you. It was yeah, great experience, but a lot of things can kill you in Australia. A lot of creatures, you know, be it a spider, a wasp, or a bee, or something like that, you know. And then you still got saltwater crocodiles. A lot of things out there, but yeah, I mean, I'm a big nature lover and wildlife lover as well, so I was also in my element.
What was it like for you? I mean, yes, you're playing cricket, you're Viv's son, but you're still a young man from the Caribbean.
Right.
What was it like for you living in these places?
Like, you know, it just goes back to what we were saying earlier. I mean, there were negatives. You know, there were times there was a lot of love, and there was the times where there was not so much love. You know, it just being from the Caribbean and from Antigua also prepared me for those situations. You know, there are a couple of hairy situations. If you remember, quite a few years ago, a West Indian cricketer by the name of, a fast bowler by the name of Marlon Black from Australia, got seriously assaulted, you know, on the West Indian cricket tour. Sylvester Joseph was there as well. You know, that night when it happened, you know, he had to run for his life as well. Marlon Black got hit by a car and stuff. So, you know, these things do happen. I mean, it was a lot of love, man. I did morning shows. I got a lot of fabulous press. But there's the other occasion where things did happen, and we had to, you know, being from Antigua prepared me for those situations.
Do I ask? Who do I ask you to tell us what that means?
In terms of, I mean, we would come out. I mean, there were times when you'd be, as a kid growing up in Antigua, there was a time when you'd come to Carnival, or it'd be a Christmas Eve right here where we are, in Redcliffe Key or whatever, or a shanty town in Carnival, whatever, and things would happen. You know, things would go off, and there'd be incidents, and there'd be bottles thrown, or who knows, the odd stabbing, whatever. Right? right. And we had stabbing. We've been around these things, and you know, just the sense potential danger or harm. Then I must say, and yeah, you know, there's one particular occasion when we were out. I was out with one friend actually from England, because when we went out to Australia, I was out there with 11 school friends. I went out to play cricket, and the majority of the others went to travel around Australia and work and do whatever on their gap year before they would go to university. So we would all meet up every few months. I was based in Sydney, so these guys would go all over Australia, go surfing, go do this, go do that. But I had to be there playing cricket. So, but they'd always come back every couple of months or so, and we'd catch up in Sydney and we'd stay together or whatever. And on this occasion, everyone was away except one of my friends, who was probably one of my best friends from school in England, called Alexander. Obviously a white dude, and well, not obviously, but yeah, he was. And we're out in a place called Coogee, right on the beach, massive place called the Coogee Palace. And you know, we're having a few drinks. At the time it was Smirnoff Ice. I don't know if you remember the Smirnoff.
Man.
Especially the triple black, the black, the black bottle, triple distilled, and we were drinking those. And we were in there, and you know what I mean, we were having a good time. And you know, it was time for us to leave. He was staying he just had a hotel just across the road, or in a hostel. I was staying maybe around 15-20 minutes away, but what I would do, we'd come out, so I would stay with him for that evening, or we'd determine whether we'd go back to where I was. Anyway, come out to the place, we're walking back to his hostel, and this guy runs up to me. You know, you can tell he's a bit intoxicated or whatever, and he asked me if can he have a cigarette, in his Australian accent. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, well, bro, I don't smoke. At this point in time, he proceeds to swing a punch, kind of drunk punch. But, I kind of sway out of the way. And the interesting thing, why I say Antigua prepared me for that, being in that bar, knowing the vibes, something told me, hey, just see this Smirnoff Ice bottle you drink.
Hold on
just
to the
keep
bottle.
this in your pocket.
A lot of people can relate right now.
Right. Just keep this in your pocket. It's cool, we're leaving, you know what I mean? But just keep this in your pocket. And it turned out that same Smirnoff bottle managed to save, I think, us from serious damage. I mean, my friend, he got hit and he got hurt quite badly.
It was one of multiple people.
No, after he swung the punch at me and the little altercation, more guys started running up from the beach. Yeah, obviously people he was with, and they caught up to my friend. And obviously, whatever happened there, and I had to turn back around and really try and defend my friend. And it was that Smirnoff Ice bottle that saved our lives, I must say, and it's something I was speaking to Alexander about the other day. We're still friends to this day, and he actually brought that up. He was like, man, you remember when you saved my life? I was like, yeah, you got knocked out and you didn't remember much of what happened, but yeah, it was just one of those things. But those situations weren't plenty, it was more positive interactions I had with the Australians. And to be honest, I left Sydney thinking it's a place I could actually live. The the positivity far outweighed the negative. Like I said, the odd occasion, but being able to recognize danger and spot danger, or sense it early. Just being from the Caribbean and knowing how things can sometimes just change suddenly. And being in a foreign place like Australia, I was always had my senses about me, and that just, I guess, saved me in a situation like that. After the cricket wound down a bit, I even traveled around a bit on my own. Went to a place called a place called Byron Bay, quite renowned, just a beautiful little village. Also in the countryside of Australia was.
Did you get to go around the Aboriginal people at all?
Not much. The only Aborigines I would see, and this was also quite eye-opening. A lot of Aboriginals that you did see in the city were almost like the vagrants of the city. So I didn't really get to partake per se in Aboriginal culture. Australia is a massive, massive country. And like I was saying, I went to Byron Bay, which is still in the state of New South Wales, but that took me 8 to 10 hours, maybe even more on a bus. A massive, massive place. So, and a lot of Aboriginals live out in the outback, what the conditions are like out there. So, but my experience of them in the city wasn't necessarily a pleasant one.